What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. So in this one, working around the new Civic, new to me. Very old 25-year-old car. Normal problems with 25-year-old car: frozen bolts, frozen bushings, seized bolt bushing combos that are just totally locked together. I encountered this on the Accord. So I remember what I did. I think I just used my Milwaukee to just spin it out, like just tear it out. So we'll see what I end up doing on this one. I got a couple of ideas. I'm thinking if I just cut it off, maybe I could just back it out because I got new links. So if I just chop the old links off. So I got a couple of ideas. We're gonna get under here and I'll show you guys what we're working with. I already got the car all jacked up. So it's kind of a mess in the garage, but it's beginning of winter here. Still trying to get organized, but I want to get this thing aligned and get my new winter tires on it so I can be dealing this thing in the winter and then we can worry about other stuff. But I gotta get this squared away before we get snow. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop the wheels off, show you guys what we're working with.
I just put these on.
What up?
What are you doing? Your links?
Yeah, I'm trying. So you know it's bad when we gotta break out the heat, even though this is just some propane. I have the oxygen acetylene torch. I haven't got the tanks yet. Not that I would use that on this. I think it's too much heat. But I have found a couple of problems. So underneath here, we have this bushing, which is totally torn up and shot. I'm gonna try to, yeah, see that? It's all torn up in there. So it's pretty beat, top, bottom. It's not totally ripped yet, but it's pretty close. So that's something I gotta change, which that'll be fun. That's a big bushing to change, but I've done something similar on the Accord. So it's not the end of the world, but I'm gonna have to change that one and some other ones too. I got these new links that go underneath. I gotta lay under the car and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But basically it attaches to this whole trailing arm assembly here, and it's your toe set. This is your upper control arm, this guy up here, and then this is the trailing arm. And then the knuckle is pretty much the trailing arm on this is like also the knuckle. And then this is your, I guess, trailing arm bushing, and then there's another one in front of that. That's your little dog bone looking guy there. And he is responsible, see that rusty thing up in there? This guy, right up here. That's the guy that's frozen, and it's frozen in the body too, which sucks. So, not sure what I'm gonna do yet. I'm trying to think of a plan. I'm gonna bust the heat out on the body side and see if that helps me break the bolt loose, and then we'll see if it's frozen in the bushing, because I think the other side's frozen in the bushing, which is fun. So I may try to just melt the bushing and spin it, which will spread the ear a little bit, and then once it's loose, I don't know. I'm trying to not have to cut a hole in the body to get to the back side of the bolt, but if I have to do that, I have to do it. I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. So we'll see what happens. So I resorted to cutting it because I think that's the easy way to do it, honestly. It took me like 2 seconds to zip that open with the grinder. And now we have full and clear access to the backside of that guy, which is what we need. So now we can heat that with a torch, surely get it loose because it's pretty frozen right now. And then we can use the same hardware too. We don't have to scrap the bolt after I cut it in half or something like that. So I think it's much better to cut the body, and then I'll just weld that back together later after we hit this with some kind of anti-seize or fluid film or something, after I get it all back together and aligned and all that good stuff. And I think it'll be fine. It's not like it's going to go through a crazy amount of load here. This is just like a torsion mount for the trailing arm, you know. It's just like for it to bounce off of. The main bushing is back there, and so I don't know. It's not like a huge deal. I don't think this is gonna like bear any weight of the vehicle, so it's not gonna shift or twist. But we will get it welded back together, and it'll be just as strong. So this is how I do it. It's kind of one of the only ways to do it at this point. There's not really many other options. You know, you kind of have to get to the backside. I could break the bolt in there and then have a harder time extracting the bolt. But if we do it this way, we have a chance of saving the hardware. So that's why we're doing it like that. So I'm going to try the other side now. The other side, I think it's spinning in the bushing, and the bushing's a little seized. So maybe we'll just spin that out, and we might end up doing the same thing on the other side, to be honest, as long as it gives me some resistance. And then hopefully we can get this other bolt out of the front of the trailing arm too. So yeah, fun stuff on 25-year-old cars. That's just how it goes. So next step is heat, which we're going to have the acetylene torches going pretty soon. So we'll resume this another night. So after I cut a hole in the body, things kind of escalated, and I started cutting the link apart like I did on the other side. But I did finish. I did get this side all squared away here. So basically, you can see what's left of the link, and I have the bushing down there. So what I ended up doing was cutting the link apart. I cut that off of around the bushing, and then I ended up cutting the bushing totally like apart with the die grinder, and then I ended up just having the bushing there, which was spinning. So we heated it and threw some vice grips on it, and I was able to get it to break free. So now I have everything all broken free, and the ear was totally bent out, but it'll get sucked back in. And I probably didn't need to cut that hole on the other side because I don't think it was frozen on the nut. I think it was frozen on the bushing the whole time, but I just needed to heat up the bushing and spin it and annihilate the bushing, and then it probably would have blew the ear out a little bit. But it is what it is. I got it out either way. I just got to do a little welding on the other side. So this is a little ugly, but it'll clean up. And now we just got to get this other one off here. It's on the trailing arm. Hopefully I pull these two bolts out and it drops down. I guess we'll see. So right now I'm working on cutting the pieces of the link out, and hopefully with any luck we'll be able to get this side out too. So I just gotta throw some grips on it and then spin it and then get that bolt out. That way I save my hardware. So we're at it again out here another night. I got it all warmed up out here. So I'm gonna try to now lower the, I guess it's like the lower control arm. That's what they call it, or the trailing arm is what I call it. Not sure which is the correct name, but essentially I think I may end up removing these two bolts here for the upper control arm. I think I might remove those, and then these two bolts for the trailing arm on the bushing, and try to drop this whole bushing down just so I can get that bolt out. I think that's how you got to change that link. That's just part of it. So I'm going to hit these two first that are on this bushing on the trailing arm going up into the body. I'll take those out and I'll see if that gives me the room I need. If it doesn't, then I'll take out this upper control arm and it should drop down. Hopefully, if worst case, I could undo the strut maybe on top, because I think down low the bushing might be frozen, like they often get frozen in the bolt, just like what happened to me on the links. So I'm gonna try to lay under there and see what my best bet is. So I got all my pieces out. That's the main part of the link. That's all the pieces that I chopped off. This is like the other ear on this thing. This is the metal sleeve And then this is the actual bushing itself. There's other pieces lying around that I cut off of here, but essentially that was the link. So I got some nice new ones inside. And this was the bolt that went through this side, which was not frozen. And then this is the side that went through that was totally frozen. So yeah, you can see it's pretty gummed up. The threads are pretty jacked up. So I'm gonna run a wire wheel through there, I think. And then, it's not focusing. And then put some sort of lubricant on it. And like some anti-seize or something going forward. Hopefully they don't seize up in there. So yeah, that's how you get them out in one piece. You just chop everything apart just to really save this bolt, because otherwise I'd have to buy this bolt and then extract it from the body and stuff. So I really didn't need to cut that hole in the body. Even though I did, I thought I was gonna have to, but probably couldn't do it without cutting the hole in the body. So learn from my mistake, but live and learn, and we'll hack some more stuff. So everything's back together now. I put anti-seize on just about everything on these 17s, going back up into the body. And I got our links on over here with the two 14s. You're upside down here, but if I put you right side up, this is the one that goes into the body over here, and that's looking good. I got, like I said, anti-seize on everything. That's cranked down afterwards, so the bushing isn't under tension. So everything went back together pretty nicely, and I cleaned up the bolts with a wire wheel in the basement, and then I went ahead and, like I said, got all the anti-seize so they don't rot. And this side is pretty much the same. I just have this access hole that I cut on this side, so I'll have to weld that up. I think I might do that at a later date, but the garage alignment is what I got going on there right now. So I'm just gonna wait on getting it lined up at work, and then everything will be ready for my new tires. So we're ready to go. That's probably gonna conclude this little section of the video. I want to take a look up front at an oil leak and see what we can do about fixing that. So maybe I'll go over to that next. But these links are installed. Definitely was not that fun, but you know, I'm over it. It's done, so I'm happy. And you just gotta think on your feet and improvise, and don't cut a hole if you don't have to, because that was stupid. But anyway, yeah, we're on to the next phase. So I've been looking into this little oil leak up front. It's not very little. I don't know if you can see all that stuff over here. It's all wet, and it goes all the way down the front of the engine as well. So there's just oil all over the place, and like you can see the engine code there. Yeah, it's just all down the whole transmission, and it goes in back too. I don't know if you're getting the glimpses there of the, yeah, you definitely can't see that. Sorry, it's hard to get its focus on that. Should be able to see in here though. This is the back side of the transmission, just all over the place. So trying to pinpoint where that's coming from. I believe that it's this VTEC solenoid, which is this guy right here. So I'm putting I got this little inspection mirror. On the underside. Yeah, it should be focused on the underside right there. That's what I'm looking at. That's the leak I'm seeing. See how it's shiny? That's also the highest point. So I think that's going to be the issue here. So I'm going to get that VTEC solenoid coming. I'll clean it all off, and we'll see if it continues to leak, because these old Hondas love to leak. So I'd like to fix as much as I can. So I'll always try something once or twice, but I don't see where the distributor is leaking, so I don't think it's that. I think somebody changed the O-ring on it already, so they probably thought that's what that giant leak was from, and it looks like it might be the VTEC solenoid. So I'm going to try to do that, and that'll be our next project. So I'll order some parts for that. We'll see if I end up lumping that into this video or into its own video. But yeah, I'm loving working on this thing, guys. It's a blast. I'm having a good time. It's always fun to work on these cars. They're just so easy, you know? Except for what's going on back there. But they're simple mechanically, I mean. And, you know, you just fix leaks and just basic things like that, you know. I'm used to working on GM cars, so it's just fun to work on something else, and something that's just, parts are readily available and cheap. And that's why I like Hondas, because they're cheap. Anyway, that's that. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. Alright guys, so here she sits. I got my snows on. So excited about it. They look so good. All knobby. Big old tread on them. It's a nice looking tire, honestly. They're just nice little winter design here. They're Arctic Claw, I guess. I don't know. They're not the most expensive, that's for sure. They're pretty much the cheapest I could find. But I want to maybe come through and paint these. I might do it later, you know, or something like that. But eventually I'll paint them. But I got my alignment sheet specs here. I was way out in the right rear, 1 degree. I didn't really take too much care to put it back. I knew I was going to be aligning it the next morning, but it definitely drove to work a little sideways. But yeah, I'm all happy with the specs now. I tried to get it to 0, but it doesn't like 0. The specs, it wants to be around 0.04. It was teetering on red at 0.04, and less toe the better. So less tire wear. So we're good there. I want to just drive it for a week. I think this upcoming week I may try to throw it on the alignment rack again and just give it another verification to make sure the alignment's all set. But yeah guys, it's cold out, so I'm gonna go in, but this thing's sweet. I'm loving it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more. Got more coming up on this thing. It looks a little funny. I want to try to paint the hubcaps. That's why I got it off, but I'll maybe do that in following video. Thanks for watching, and peace. See you in the next one.